All right, welcome back to another episode of Anime Core, episode 3. I know our schedule's been a little weird. We wanted to open up the show talking about that, but first off, my name's Jeremiah.
I'm Megan.
And we will be your hosts on this anime journey. So for our schedule, we've been trying to figure it out. Getting started on stuff like this is a little awkward. But going forward, and obviously we'll let you guys know if, an episode's not going to come out that week or something. But our plan going forward is to drop new episodes on YouTube and Spotify, podcast episodes, on Tuesdays. And then Thursday, if we have a bonus episode for you that week, we'll do a 20-ish minute bonus episode of some discussion that we'll have.
Usually like a character ranking, who we hate.
We've done rankings so far. We did Hashira rankings. Check out that video for Demon Slayer. Who we hate is this week. Spoiler, it's Sasuke.
Is it we or is it me?
I don't hate him, but I understand everyone else's hatred towards him. So that's kind of our schedule going forward. We apologize it hasn't been consistent, and we will do our best with that as we move forward. We are also now set up on social media.
Hello. We're on TikTok and Instagram at Anime Core Podcast.
All one phrase, easy to find, branding's consistent, so check us out on socials. I think that's it for what we need to talk about to start. So for introduction this week, instead of doing like a get to know us like we've been doing, we're actually going to talk about something a little different because Converse just announced a collaboration with Naruto.
Which we are currently watching. Jeremiah is rewatching. I'm watching for the first time.
You're addicted.
And I hate Sasuke Uchiha.
And I did want to say, too, we need to hurry up with this episode this week and get it done fast because Naruto did just enter the battlefield for the 4th Shinobi War, and we got to get back to that to continue watching.
We do. I'm just waiting for Itachi to come back, truly.
You've gotten some teases.
It's keeping me going.
So we're going to talk about Naruto sneaker collab. Sneaker and, clothing, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
It is hilarious that Naruto and Converse are doing a collab in the heat of us watching, Naruto.
Do you think they planned it around us?
They might have seen the first episode. They might have seen the first episode.
Listen, my wife is watching Naruto for the first time for me.
I did actually. This is...
And they were like, oh, we gotta help a guy out.
Happy anniversary, early anniversary.
Well, you didn't give me any sneakers.
No, I will say that I'm pretty sure, all the sneakers are sold out from what I've seen so far. It just dropped, a few days ago. What's today?
The 26th.
Yeah, so it just dropped, last week. So, I'm sure... I don't know. I don't think it'll be a limited release. I could see them doing more. So we'll... I apologize if you guys are listening on Spotify. You won't be able to see the sneakers or anything. If you're watching on YouTube, though, we'll pop them up in the screen here so you can see what we're talking about. But starting off first, you gotta start, of course, with Naruto. They got some Chuck Taylors. It's an orange base with the...
Nine-tail seal?
The nine-tail seal on the side, which is kind of cool. The logo on the other side, obviously. And then the heel. Do you see the heel?
I do see the heel.
The heel's sick. It's got the Hidden Leaf metal band on the heel. So, and then one is the Converse. So, how do we feel about these?
I mean, it makes sense. It does. I'm just not a huge orange person.
Yeah.
That's just me, fashionably. But it makes sense for, Naruto, the character, to have that.
Because when you have the red hot habanero
and the yellow flash of the leaf,
you make orange. Yeah. I'm not a big, orange person either, but I will say this is a clean orange. And I think it's the material that almost makes it look like a little more, not as, heavy on the eyes almost. I look at, Naruto's fit he wears in, Shippuden, and I'm like, I wouldn't wear that. Yeah. It's not for me. But I look at these, and I'm like, these are kind of clean. It's, not subtle orange, obviously, because the base of the shoe is orange. But like with the black laces and then the seal on there,
Yeah.
it's a little cooler.
I said the nine-tail seal. I think it's technically the Reaper Death seal, is it not?
No, that's not the Reaper Death seal.
It's not?
No.
Okay.
This is the...
Never mind.
It's like the 8 trigram, or it's like the 8
something
seal.
Yeah.
It's like an 8 seal lock, basically. Yeah, it's the seal that is on Naruto's stomach.
Okay.
Would there have been any other additions or subtraction? Like, would you have done a different
Ooh.
symbol instead of the seal for Naruto? I feel like doing Kurama, the Nine-Tails Beast, would have been a little, like, cheesy.
Yeah, it would have been cheesy. I don't think so.
I feel like,
right?
the whiskers.
The whiskers. No, absolutely not.
I think it's kind of cool.
You can't really do a Rasengan because that's just a ball.
Or Rasengan wouldn't look as cool. The seal's like a nice subtle almost. Like it's a cool design.
Yeah.
I like them.
Yeah.
Do we want to rate it? I guess out of 10.
Out of 10, I don't know.
I'd say like anything 5 above, like anything like 6 through 10, you'd consider wearing.
Oh, okay.
Is kind of how it's like. If it's a 6 and up, you're like, okay, I might wear this if I can get a good fit going.
I'd probably do it a 4.
So you wouldn't wear it, but you're like, it's pretty good.
But I'm like, it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wear it.
I'd say like maybe like a 7,
Wow.
6.5, 7. I just really like the like symbol with the orange. It looks
Okay.
clean. Cool. Moving on.
Ugh.
What's our next shoe, Megan?
It is in fact for Sasuke. It has a white base. The little curse mark is on the side, and then that black or the back strip is the blue. And then you can also kind of see like the little when he activates the curse mark.
Is that the Amaterasu or is it the curse mark? I think it's the curse mark. I don't know.
I mean, it really could be either. Take your pick, I guess. It's like a faded, like you can't really see
Flame
it.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah. And then the laces in the tongue of the shoe is blue. The laces look like
the rope he wears
the
around his
rope that
waistband.
he wears. They're pink. They are cool. I do like them. I do like them.
The heel is the headband again.
Oh, but it's slashed.
It's the Rogue Shinobi
That's
headband.
Cool. I like these better than Naruto because there's more details to them.
Yeah.
So I do think that's really cool. So Sasuke, you win this one, I guess. Congrats.
That's huge. That's huge if you're admitting that these ones are cool.
Look, I'm not going to be biased when it comes to shoes.
I mean,
I wouldn't get them just because it's Sasuke and I don't support his activities.
Fair.
But
the purple ropes as the laces is super sick.
How would you, I'm curious how well they would stay tied.
Yeah, that's the hard part. And then if these ones, fray.
That's true.
What are you replacing them with?
Right.
So, no, that is definitely the tough part. Going curse mark for his symbol is super bold, I feel like. Because I feel like if we're looking at Shippuden, curse mark isn't the first thing I think of with Sasuke. So this might just be Naruto Part 1, where, they're kids and stuff.
True.
I guess he wouldn't have had the rope around his waist yet, because that's Shippuden when he starts. So yeah, I don't know. Curse mark's interesting. Is that a combination of the curse mark and his Sharingan?
Oh, true.
Or does the curse mark just look like the Sharingan in general?
Does the curse mark look like the Sharingan? Now I'm like, is it the curse mark?
Let's see. What's on that? Yeah, that's the curse mark.
Okay, yeah.
Ooh, there's some really cool tattoos of curse marks. Oh, okay. So each person has a different curse mark on them.
Oh,
it's like the basic 3 symbols in a circle.
I see.
Sasuke's just kind of mirrors his Sharingan. So yeah, that's his curse mark. So I'd assume then it's not Amaterasu. I'd assume it's the curse mark webbing. Would you wear these? Would you wear them out of fashion, not out of principle?
I would wear them, I'd probably give it a 6, a 5 or a 6.
Okay. Nah, these are I'd give these a 9. Close to a 10.
Okay, but
these are clean.
So, here's the thing. Instead of the curse mark, would you have done, his Mangekyo Sharingan?
Nah, because I'm not a big Mangekyo fan for sure. His Mangekyo's okay.
Yeah.
Then you also think if I got that Mangekyo and no one knows anime, then I just look like I'm wearing a devil symbol on my foot all of a sudden.
That's true, but what does the curse mark look like to other people? A bunch of commas?
Yeah, it's just apostrophes in a circle. His
like, oh my
Mangekyo
gosh,
is
she
not.
must be an English
His Mangekyo
major.
is not bad, but like
It's not as cool as Itachi's. Or Kakashi's, for that matter.
it's also like I think there's like a 10 episode span where he like spams his Mangekyo,
Oh.
and then Toby's just like, "Hey man, you're going blind. We're gonna have to give you new eyes now." And then like we haven't seen it since then, right? So it's like his curse mark is something I feel like he utilizes way more than the Mangekyo.
Okay.
At least at the point we're at that
So
you've seen.
You're flipping your previous statement.
What was my previous?
Of like you wouldn't expect the curse mark to represent Sasuke.
No, yeah, I think it would. I think it makes sense. I wouldn't do his Mangekyo. I would do this or a Sharingan, which this is basically Sharingan.
Right. I don't think there's any other symbols that you really could do unless you want like a little snake.
Yeah, yeah, you could do like a snake. But then you'd have to do the toads for Naruto.
Oh.
But like, I'm trying to think of how to go about this without spoiling too much for you. He gets his eye transplant.
So here's the thing. I did in fact look up Sasuke Sharingan, and I'm pretty sure I just got a spoiler.
Oh.
Which I don't love that for me.
Is it?
Don't say it.
What do you think it is?
He gets a Renegon.
Yeah.
I hate him.
I was trying to word this. Yeah, so Sasuke unlocks a Rinnegan at a certain point. So he doesn't.
I'm sad. I'm sorry for spoiling it. I really, truly did not mean to.
No, but there's so much greater spoilers that you've been avoiding, and I'm so happy. Yeah, so he unlocks a Rinnegan at some point. So everything we've seen like his Mangekyo from like post Itachi. So the Killer Bee fight, and the Danzo fight, and the Raikage fight, where he like shows up at the summit. So like those like 3 fights, I guess he fights Gaara in there too. Is when he like spams his Mangekyo, and then he comes back with like Itachi's eyes, and he uses the Mangekyo like a decent amount, but then he gets like the Rinnegan, and he's like, well, why would I use my Mangekyo if I have the Rinnegan?
So here's my question: does he earn the Rinnegan?
No, someone gives it to him.
Listen, I know we're not on this segment. This man has done nothing to earn the powers that he's gotten.
He's a Nepo baby.
He's a Nepo baby.
Sasuke Uchiha's a Nepo baby.
I know, I understand that it's all part of the circle of hatred, and like he's also included in that, but my circle of hatred did in fact start with Sasuke.
It's very much where they're preparing for like the final fight, and someone's like, Sasuke, you're gonna need this. Gives him a Rinnegan.
What?
Yeah.
Why don't you give it to Naruto?
Yeah.
Anyone else? Shikamaru. He could probably use that.
So I will say, like, over the course of, like, Sasuke's life, that the curse mark does represent him more so.
Yeah.
Which is ironic with how much he's, like, obsessed with the Sharingan and, like, the Uchiha clan and the Sharingan's for the Uchiha. Kakashi shouldn't have, like, all that stuff. For him to, like, be identified more by, like, what Orochimaru gave him than, like, what his family did is hilarious.
It is. And he's just not self-aware.
He's not. Like you said, he's been given everything. I love comparing Naruto and him because it's like, oh, Jiraiya, like, kind of taught Naruto the Rasengan, but Naruto learned how to do it himself, really.
Right.
Naruto learned the Shadow Clone technique.
He learned Sage Mode.
Naruto learned Sage Mode. Naruto learned how to do Sage Mode given the hurdles he had.
True.
He created a new jutsu with the Rasen Shuriken. And then he accidentally learned how to do a tailed beast bomb in Ninetales state without transforming into Ninetales beast. So, like, Naruto, some of these obviously, like, he stumbled upon, and some of them he's had guidance along the way. But, like, for the most part, Naruto's been a problem solver with his jutsus and how to level them up. Sasuke was like, he learned the Chidori. I'll give him that.
He did.
He was tortured into getting his
Taijutsu.
Okay, well, that's the debate, though. Did he learn the taijutsu, or did his Sharingan just let him copy it?
Oh, I see.
Not to put dirt on Kakashi's name, but, like, Kakashi can do a bunch of crazy stuff because he has a Sharingan.
That's true.
So it's like...
Guy Sensei.
But it's like, Sasuke gets to a point where he's like, oh man, I'm weak. Goes to Orochimaru to basically just get experimented on and leveled up. So Orochimaru gives him all this new stuff. don't see Sasuke like train with Orochimaru, so we don't know how much he like
Yeah.
learned and how much he was just given. But
We should probably save this for our bonus episode.
this is all part of the Sasuke hate. We're just giving you a teaser. We'll get it. I'll stop for now. I'll get back
There's
into
so
this.
much more things that I do hate about Sasuke, so
Yeah.
stay tuned.
Yeah, this is just a teaser. But yeah, so I do like these though. I think these are pretty clean. I
Yeah.
like the gray. Yeah, the navy blue. The laces are so creative, so I definitely like them.
I actually like the next ones, although I think it's kind of a wild pick.
This next one is so wild. So next up, we've got is he the fourth? He's the fifth? Kazekage, Gara of the Sand. I think his dad's the fourth. Yeah. So we've got Gara of the Sand for this next one. This is so sick.
I really like
what?
them. I would give them probably an 8 or a 9.
These are clean. I like Sasuke's a little more, so these would be like an 8.5 for me.
Yeah.
But just because, like I said, the laces are really cool on Sasuke's. But I mean, this is just so creative. I also wish they would have given his headband
We should probably describe it.
on the heel. What would you call that color?
I'm going to go with burnt orange.
Yeah, it's like a burnt orange.
And then on the side, the symbol is the symbol that he has on his forehead.
Which I think means like love or something.
It would. It does not have his band, but he doesn't wear one, really.
Oh,
Like
I guess he
the-
never wears a
I guess-
headband.
I
No.
just realized that,
Yeah.
actually. The strip on the back is kind of like a sage color. And then there is some writing on the bottom.
It looks like it's like the seal that's on his gourd almost. I can't
Okay,
tell.
I was wondering that as
Yeah.
well. I
And
like
then, do you notice the rubber on the bottom? It looks like sand almost, like it's cracked, kind of like
I did
earthy.
not notice. I like
I don't
a
think
good
the
like
others-
stitching, so with the symbol being stitched like that. I
Yeah,
really
Sasuke's
like
don't have that, so it's an intentional. So the bottom
That's
rubber
cool.
piece has some. It looks kind of like earthy. No, it's clean. It's definitely one that you could wear and no one would really know that it's like an anime shoe.
That's not why I like it.
No, I know.
Anime fans.
But it's like
naughty
subtle. You
style.
like subtle stuff though.
I do really
Yeah.
like subtle stuff. That is much more my style.
Yeah. No, I mean that's clean. There's not much
Yeah.
to say about it. It's kind of basic, but like
Kind of basic.
the
yeah.
way it's done is they're Chuck Taylors. All three of these have been Chuck Taylors so far, which is important to say because Itachi's aren't. But yeah, I like.
We're
these.
getting there.
I like these. These are cool. Not much to talk about them.
No. Right.
Next up
Kakashi.
we've got Kakashi.
You know, Guy Sensei is fuming over this. It's like Kakashi got a shoe and I didn't. I would wear a shoe for Guy Sensei,
It
but I do
says
love
that
Kakashi.
Kakashis are also Chuck Taylors, but like these don't look like Chuck Taylors to me.
They're kind of like a play on Chuck
They're like
Taylors.
bulky. They're really bulky in like
They-
the heel.
They do kind of remind me of like Air Forces in a way.
Yeah.
But like not. Like a high top Air Force.
Yeah. So these are
That's Chuck
mainly
Taylor.
white body, kind of gray. A lot of different materials they've used on the body. And then the heel is his like navy blue. I think it's more like Anbu Kakashi is what it seems.
Well, if you scroll down, you can see that Kakashi's actually in the heel of the shoe when you put it on.
The sole on the inside.
The sole.
I think
yes.
they all have something in the sole.
Do they?
Yeah, you just can't
Oh.
see it on the others.
That definitely would not be Sasuke's.
And then, and then the tongue is like a navy, but then it hides behind like some white straps. The laces are kind of fat. And then the heel, he's got the hidden leaf symbol.
Mm-hmm.
He's also got his Anbu tattoo on the side. That's his symbol, which is kind of cool. It's clean.
It's clean.
I don't like how bulky they look. Like you said, they're kind of like Air Forces. If I'm getting Chuck Taylors, I don't want my Chuck Taylors to look
Fair.
like Air Forces.
I think they're sick. Probably give it an 8.
Yeah, I'd give it like a 7. I like Gaara and Sasuke's more.
Yeah.
I still like this more than Naruto's, I think, because the orange is tough.
Yeah.
But I like it and I'd wear it for sure.
So, next question. Did they fumble Itachi's shoes?
Oh my gosh. So, Itachi's are the Converse weapons, which, if you know anything about Converse, these are kind of like the skater, like these are used for like skateboarding a little more, because they're like a little more firm and then they've got a fatter like sole. But don't like it. It's so fat and gross looking.
It has this Mangekyo Sharingan on one of the tongues.
One of the tongues has his Mangekyo. The lace tag at the bottom of the laces has his headband with the Rogue Shinobi.
Oh, okay. I just saw that.
It's a red and black colorway. So you got your black base with a red like suede underneath almost. I don't know what the symbol is on the other tongue.
I don't know
It's
either.
I don't know what it is.
And then you also have the Akatsuki Cloud.
You do have the Akatsuki clouds as like on like the foam piece.
Mm-hmm.
Fat, gross heel.
I personally don't love them. If you love them, I love that for you.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys like these, I'm not gonna hate on them for sure. But like, it's like a 2 for me.
Yeah, I'd probably have to go pretty low as well. Probably, I'd give it a 3.
I also just think like to have Akatsuki stuff, but not like any crows is just weird. Like, yeah, he was a part of the Akatsuki, but like not because he
really not
agreed
his
with what they
identity.
wanted. Yeah, it's yeah. So it just feels like they looked up a picture of Itachi and they're like, this is good enough. It doesn't feel like it was designed by someone that like knew the show. So.
The other ones feel good though.
The other ones feel great. No, it's a great collab. And I mean, continuing on, we have a jacket. It's just all black. There's some Japanese.
Is this one for Itachi as well?
On one breast. Converse symbol on one breast.
I think it is.
Kunai on one sleeve. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm guessing it's Itachi. And then the back says Converse with a star, but the star has Akatsuki clouds on it, and then it does have the hidden leaf Rogue Shinobi with 3 sets of Mangekyo, it looked like almost.
Yeah.
Madara, Sasuke, Itachi, maybe?
Maybe. I don't know. You know it better than me.
You can explain this next one.
Hang on. Mine's reloading. Oh, yeah, it's freaking Sasuke.
The jacket I'd wear. That's clean.
Yeah, the jacket I would also wear.
That's a 10 almost.
I wouldn't wear this next shirt because it's Sasuke. It's just a plain white shirt on the front. You have his curse mark on one of the sides. On the back, it shows him losing a fight, probably. Just kidding. No, he's posing with a sword. It has Converse behind him. And then the Naruto logo next to him as well. And
then probably what I'd assume is like his kanji saying Sasuke Uchiha right there. I like it. I like the plain white front with the curse mark. I think that's clean, and then the back I think is clean. I think this paired up with like the black jacket would be like pretty sick. Yeah. You just see the white part of the shirt if you put it with the black jacket. Okay, we can move on. Then we got a Naruto shirt on the front left breast. You got Naruto Shippuden, just the logo. One of the sleeves has Converse logo on it, and the back is the Converse logo in orange with Naruto jumping out of the star with a kunai. So pretty basic, but pretty cool. I mean, I'm not a big fan of like wearing like logos, like anime logos on my clothes like that. Yeah. I like the subtlety, like we were saying earlier. So, but I think it's still cool. And then this looks like a female shirt too, I think. Yeah, it does. The cut does. It's kind of like like a peachy rose color. Rose gold almost. I don't know. I don't know how you. It looks like Sakura's jacket. Looks like her hair almost. Yeah. This is for Sakura, by the way. So you have a picture of her on the front. It kind of looks like it's from the Sasori fight because she's wearing those gloves. Oh, she's got the gloves. Yeah, good call. And then Converse in the back, and then there's Sakura petals coming down as well. And then this last one. Last one's just the Kakashi Anbu backpack. It's got his Mangekyo on one piece. That's cool. Yep. His tattoo. It has his Anbu Black Ops mask attached to the zipper on the front. Yeah. Pretty cool. Yeah. Not one for like. It's like one of those small backpacks, it looks like. So anyway, if you are interested in Naruto merch, I guess check out that collab. Kind of fun. Yeah, I think it's cool to see like big companies like that, like doing anime collabs. Yeah. And I mean, we talked like the other day that you're seeing a ton of collabs between anime and baseball. What was so they did the Demon Slayer collab, One Piece collab.
JJK.
JJK is the next one. The
Yep.
Rangers are doing a JJK collab for some jerseys that look really sick. I think it was the Dodgers did the One Piece collab. It was an LA team, I think. The Lakers did a One Piece collab during the regular season.
I think the Red Sox are doing a One Piece night as well.
Cool. Luffy threw out the first pitch on his birthday earlier this month.
There goes the cat.
And then the Demon Slayer collab was like for advertising or something. They did all like the water breathing as like bat swings.
Yeah, that was a cool. What's she doing?
No, she's just getting into boxes. So it is really cool to see anime in the mainstream like this as collabs. So what? So that's. Oh, I guess no Bleach. I was gonna say what would like be the next one. I think Bleach would be a big one that someone could do. You think we'll see a Solo Leveling collab?
I could see it, honestly. It's gotten really big. But the thing is, now that the next season's coming out, maybe
It'll
not.
be a while.
But they did, like, mention the Olympics.
We said that they might do something for the Olympics. That's true.
I don't know, though.
That'd be the time to do it, to announce, like, season 3, yeah. I don't know. There's not really... My Hero, I guess, for the final season. I could see someone do something. Are you talking
just, like, sports collabs, or, like...
Yeah, I've just been thinking sports clubs, I guess.
Yeah.
What clothing, I guess. Converse makes sense, because Converse has always been kind of, like, about the culture. So
yeah.
Anime is also, like, big into culture now. So I feel like those two teaming up would be cool. I guess what other, like, clothing is, like, big in the culture? But, like, I feel like Converse is... Nike, maybe, but...
Like Air Forces?
Yeah, like Jordans or something.
Yeah.
So. No, really cool things as an anime fan to see that it's
fun.
Being big, so cool. So yeah, that's the Naruto Converse collab plus a little sneak at how much Megan hates Sasuke.
My bad.
Sit tight, we'll be right back for anime news of the week. All right, and we're back for some anime core anime news of the week. I'll do this first one because you've never seen it, and we need to watch it, but I don't think you'd like it. So, live action Akira movie is still on the way. It was, I think, originally like supposed to come out in like 2021 or something. Like it's been in talks for a minute and been on and off. But the studio did confirm that it's still on the way and that there's some big news coming apparently. If you don't know anything about it, Taika Waititi is directing it, which I think it'll be fine. I like Taika Waititi. I liked Jojo Rabbit a lot. Thor Ragnarok was good. I think Thor Love and Thunder was like... he was just too mixed up in the MCU stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that Jojo Rabbit is more so what represents Taika Waititi's like style. Because it feels way different. Than, like, because obviously with Ragnarok and Love and Thunder, he had to be constrained to kind of what the studio would say. So, if Akira is like Jojo Rabbit, I think it could be good. Jojo Rabbit does get dark. He's not afraid to get to that place. And Akira is a very dark anime. My only concern is if we get the MCU Taika Waititi and it's too many jokes. Because Akira is very dark. And so, I'm excited though. Akira is kind of like one of the big... like anime things that got me into anime. I had a friend that had me watch it, and it's just a classic film that was just beautifully done. It's kind of like in a futuristic sci-fi, kind of like Blade Runner style universe. And there's a lot to like describe about it. Like I said, you might not like it because it's really sci-fi heavy. Yeah. But Akira is a huge influence on like culture. Like a lot of like rapper music videos take influence from it.
Oh, interesting.
Kanye West for one is one that has done a lot of Akira references. Anytime like in like popular media you see someone like drift their bike as they're turning sideways and like look at the camera, that's from Akira. Like that started with Akira. At the Formula 1 Brad Pitt movie that's coming out, they just dropped a movie poster and it was referencing Akira.
Oh, that's cool.
So like Akira is huge, and so it was only a matter of time till we got a live action probably. Yeah. I'm just hoping that like they're really taking their time and can give it the justice it needs. So So live action Akira is still on the way. Keep an ear out for any big news.
Nice. Looking forward to July 3rd, I think, because JJK Season 3 will be announced at the MAPPA panel at Anime Expo.
I feel like every time they've had an announcement for JJK, they've been like, we got an announcement coming. And you're like, oh my gosh, December 20th. I'm so excited. And then it's just like a random like picture. And they're like, this is Season 3. And you're like, dude, I want like an announcement.
Right.
Not like a poster or something.
I am excited for Season 3. I'm excited for it to come back. Culling Games is just a confusing arc. And Shibuya is so peak.
I'll be interested to see how they do Culling Games.
Yeah.
It might be a lot easier to understand in the anime.
Right.
Because there are some manga like that where it's like the manga was just so hard to track. Like I know I think Tokyo Ghoul, someone said that like the manga's fantastic, but some of the fights get hard to track. You have to pay attention to like every little detail in the fight. So it's a little harder. With like an anime, they make it a little more obvious to follow along.
Cue in like zoom in on things or like slow something down. Or,
so it might be easier to follow Culling Games with that.
Yeah.
Following our last Blue Lock announcement for Madrid doing their camp, Blue Lock Season 3 is confirmed. So I don't know if this one was up in the air because I know like the animation for Season 2 had a lot of people upset.
Yeah.
So I wonder if this one was up in the air. But Season 3 is confirmed. I had never really gotten to Blue Lock. You started a little bit.
I started a little bit. I do want to watch it because I've heard good things.
Yeah, but hopefully they can get the animation right for this next season so people aren't very upset about it because that was huge.
Okay, if I pronounce this next one wrong, please don't kill me. Is it Eliseed?
It's a manhwa, dude. I don't know. That's you.
Manhwa will get an anime. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I have not read it. I really do stick to fluffy manhwas. Full disclosure. And I will say I reread True Beauty in its entirety this weekend. So there's that as well. Jeremiah learned so much about True Beauty.
I mean, that's excited for manhwa fans. Because it's like...
There's a lot of good stories. There's so many good stories. I did start Solo Max Level Newbie. It's another... There's a whole dungeon diving / like leveling up tower situation. It's like a whole like corner of manhwa, which I learned after solo leveling. So I'm kind of breaking into that a little bit.
Well, I know a lot of people are getting annoyed with the anime we're getting, like what they're choosing to adapt, because I know we don't have it in our announcements because it's weird, but there's like one that just got announced. It is does it count if you lose your virginity to a robot? Or to an android or something.
AI? Was it AI?
No, it's like an android, I think. And then there's one like earlier this year, and it was like, help, my wife's a little girl now, what do I do? And like there's just like these really weird... I think there's like in episode 1 we might have talked about another really weird one and people are just like, there's so many good stories to it. Yeah. Just manga alone there is.
Manga alone, true.
And so it is cool that they're dipping into manhwa now because it's like, okay, they're looking for fresh stories to keep like making new animes out of. So
I know Omniscient Reader is getting a live action.
Oh wow.
But I also know that they've like changed some from that, like or if maybe the live action's already out, but there's also an looks like an anime adaptation is coming out, and that's a huge manhwa, so that's exciting. I'll be excited for that one. I did start that one as well. The other one that I would like to see is Villain with a Crush. I think it'd be so fun to see that on screen. It's a hilarious manhwa. It's like one of the only pieces of literature that has made me laugh out loud. I love it. The characters are fun. They're funny. It's lighthearted. But I'm happy to see more manhwa get adapted.
Next up, Dragon Ball has now made 190 billion yen.
Wow.
Put that in the USD, that's about $1.33 billion US dollars.
That's crazy.
Which is insane. It beat Gundam and One Piece to this number and is the first IP to achieve this number. It makes sense. I mean, Dragon Ball is kind of the first big one.
Yeah.
it kind of goes into like the discussion that we'll probably have over the CrunchyRoll Awards of what does global impact mean, right? Like, what does it mean for something to have like a global impact? And Attack on Titan won that. It was the only one nominated for it. And it's like Dragon Ball, like, is still around.
Right.
Like, I know the creator passed away like earlier this year, but like Dragon Ball Daima is going, and it's like we've had Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Daima. Like, there's been so many versions of this one like creation that it's like at a certain point, how do you not just look at this and be like, this is probably the most influential anime? I know like Kishimoto said like Naruto is based off Goku. I know like a lot of anime today have been inspired by what Dragon Ball was like first, and so yeah, it's not surprising that it's earned this much. I mean, it's been a top anime or top manga for so long now that it's like it's always going to be around. I'll do this next one.
Okay.
A Naruto theme park is opening next year in France, of all places. When I read that, I was like, France is a wild
That
spot.
is kind of wild, yeah.
I just did not picture France as having like huge anime influence like that. But
there is also like a Disney theme park in France.
In Paris.
So maybe it's like a branching out into different theme parks type of angle. I don't know. But that's cool.
It's so sick. I mean, that'll be... I was telling you, like, a Naruto theme park would be one of the cool ones, because being in, like, the village and go, like, Ichiraku Ramen.
Yeah.
Like, Naruto's world building has such iconic locations that would be really cool. Like, to see, like, the Hokage on the mountain and stuff. So, yeah. That's one we'll have to definitely go to France to check out. Yeah. Because that would be so much fun. We'll do a vlog on it.
Yeah. Clash of Clans animated series has been announced from Netflix.
Yeah.
I have never played Clash of Clans in my life.
For our Clash of Clans fans at home. That's cool, though. I mean, Clash of Clans, like, I played that in high school. I still play it now, like, with some friends, but, like, it was huge when I was in high school. And so the fact that, like, it's not only still huge, but, like, they're getting an animation, like, an animated show is, like, really cool. It's kind of weird that it took this long, almost.
Do you want to do the next one?
I can do the next two.
Oh my gosh, no.
I'll do mine quickly so you can get to yours.
Thank you.
Lord of Mysteries anime has finished production, and it'll be out in June. So it's one of those things I think where we're hearing like, oh, they finished production, they finished the small, like we're hearing like all these like finished small pieces of it that you don't really hear for like a lot of anime, because I think there's a lot of anticipation for Lord of Mysteries. Like,
I'm anticipating it.
Even the fact that they're just like, this is the frame rate for it. This is, how the exact minutes for the episodes. It's like, people are like ready for this. So it will be sad if it's like another Ninja Kamui that just like does
We'll
not
talk
show
about
up.
that when we get to the awards. Also.
All right, all you.
Thank you. So, very excited about this one. I had to convince Jeremiah to include it. But there's an Apothecary Diaries jewelry line launching from Carrots.
Which you've studied religiously at this point.
No. I've picked out the things that I'm like, maybe I'll save my pennies for that. But there's a few rings, both for Jinshi and Mao Mao. There's a pair of earrings as well. And it's supposed to just represent some of like the entertainment district or like Imperial China, different things like that. So the company will feature its jewelry line in May and June at 2 limited time pop-up shops in Japan. So sad for me, I probably won't be able to save my pennies for it. Exciting though. It's like one of those things where it's like...
You said June?
Yeah.
I was going to say July is when... Infinity Castle comes out. We could have just flown. You could have watched Infinity Castle and got your jewelry.
Woohoo. Really? Yep. But it's fun to see Apothecary Diaries get some different merch out there. I still need my Mau Mau cat stickers, but... I
was going to say, like, that feels random, but I guess Apothecary Diaries is, like, pretty big right now.
Mm-hmm. It's a very big anime.
Yeah. I feel like people aren't really talking about it a lot, but it is, like, big.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think it's one of the bigger ones as far as dramas go. Yeah, I think it's just like a silent, like, sleeper pick, but
Yeah.
it's so good. It's a fun one, and jewelry definitely makes sense.
That's cool.
So.
Do you think like they would ever do? And I mean, maybe they did already. Because you know how like sometimes they do like makeup lines where it's like what was it, like a pastel border or whatever with the different shades represented. You know, they might have done this already, like I said. But could you see that for like Apothecary Diaries too, like a makeup?
That's
thing?
an interesting one because
Especially like entertainment district and stuff.
Yeah. Like if you look at the jewelry, it's very simple, and like Mao Mao's like not a girly girl,
right?
And she does wear makeup, but it's to cover her beauty. So like she doesn't really wear makeup, so that's where it's like I don't know.
Yeah, I from what I've seen of Apothecary Diaries, like it's a very like colorful anime, and so I could see like a cool like.
I could see maybe like a fun hairline. I think that would be cool because if you notice, there's a lot of hairpins.
Yeah, true.
Or she has like beads in her hair, so cool. You could do a play on that maybe. But yeah, I think it's cool to see. Super fun, really really cute jewelry, but
sweet.
Probably can't get it.
That's tough that they're doing just podcast. All right, so for this next part of our news segment, it might be spoilers if you consider spoilers. It's relating to Demon Slayer, so feel free to skip ahead. But with the latest Infinity Castle trailer and everything we've seen so far, and just from what people know of the manga, in that we're getting 3 movies, how they're probably going to pace this out, there's starting to become a decent idea of what the fights for the first Infinity Castle movie are going to look like. So, and I guess, I don't know if this is just the first one only. They might spread this across all 3, or the first 2 at least. Yeah. But
again, we have not read the manga, and that's nothing against the manga. I'm sure it's beautiful.
Probably read it once it's over.
We'll read it once it's over. Yeah. As of now, I just want to avoid spoilers as much as possible.
Yeah. So these are the potential fights that we'll be seeing in the first movie. First up, we have Zenitsu versus Kaigaku. Zenitsu is Zenitsu, obviously, the coolest character in the show. But Kaigaku, if you did not know, Kaigaku is the one that replaces Upper Six, which was Gyataro and Haki, his sister. Kaigaku was also a former student of the Thunder Hashira, which was Zenitsu's master, so they're sibling students. And then Kaigaku was the orphan that betrayed Gyome.
That's so insane.
The Stone Hashira.
Because really, if you think about it, he probably has not been a demon for that long. So to become Upper Six, kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out as a timeline. Is like if he did train with the Thunder Hashira, like that means he probably wasn't a demon as a kid. Right. He had a little bit. And
then he was an orphan as well. Under the Stone Hashira, right?
Well, he was an orphan first, I'm assuming.
I'm
assuming he didn't train and then go to the Stone. Because when the Stone Hashira had the orphanage, he was just a normal dude.
True.
You know, it was this betrayal that made him become the Stone Hashira.
That is true.
And so
I guess it could be the same effect for Kaigaku.
Yeah, I don't know the timeline of his life. We'll probably learn about it once he's introduced, since we haven't seen him in the anime yet. I am a little sad that Gyomai does not get to fight him. Or at least, like, I think that would have been really crazy.
He probably has a lot of other things going on.
Yeah, if you look at the list, he's got some crazy stuff. So that's one of them. Do you just want to go back and forth on this one?
Yeah, but I will probably pronounce names wrong.
Do you want me to just do the fights?
No. Okay. I gotta dive into it, right? Shinobu versus Doma. So the Insect Hashira versus Upper 2. I think the Insect Hashira is not making it out of Infinity Castle. If you also notice poster positioning, as some accounts have called out, it's not looking great.
Nah, I'm excited because we haven't seen what Doma can do. Like, they were itching to get into that fight.
True.
And they were told they can't with Upper 4 and 5. in the Swordsmith village, and so we haven't really seen. I mean, Upper too. Like that's gotta be goated, right? So it's like if they're higher than Akaza, who fought Rengoku, right? Like, and Shinobu's fighting him. Like if you guys checked out our rating, Shinobu was like the 9th Hashira we had on
Listen, not that that's telling, because our ratings probably suck.
But it's like Shinobu can't even cut off a demon's head. She uses poison because she's not strong enough.
That's true.
So it's like
but she's a Hashira for a reason.
No disrespect to Shinobu, and
she
I'm sure
is
this
a Hashira
is a great
for a
fight,
reason.
But like, yeah, girls
I don't
cook.
think she's making it out.
Tanjiro and Gyu fight Akaza. Gyu's the water Hashira, and then Akaza's upper 3. He's also the one that fought Rengoku in the Mugen Train arc. So this makes sense that Tanjiro is going to go against him. The fact that Gyu is with him has me wondering if Gyu's going to die.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which we already kind of were thinking you said before, so...
We'll see.
I'm excited. Akaza's a fun one to watch fight.
Yeah,
so I'm
excited. He's like a
martial artist almost. Yeah, he's a fun one to watch fight. So I think this will be a fantastic fight. Yes.
All right, so this next one, the Pillars versus Kokushibo.
Kokushibo, yeah.
Kokushibo. So that's Tokito, the Shinazugawa brothers, Stone Hashira, and versus Upper 1, which we haven't seen fight, but kind of have seen fight because he was...
His past self.
A robot?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a 4v1.
Yeah. Yeah. Insane.
I love, like, lists like this because you're just like, oh, these two brothers with unsettled conflict and need to learn to love each other are fighting against a strong enemy. I wonder who's going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Mist Windstone versus Upper 1. I mean, that's a good squad too. Is the hard part. So the fact that it's a 4, and then the one brother, isn't it like if he eats demons, he can get their powers? Remember?
Yeah.
Or if he eats something, he gets like the ability of it. Yeah. Something weird. So it's like he could use that ability as well. So it's like there's just gonna be a lot of crazy stuff in this one, I think.
Yeah.
Probably another telling thing about Shinobu
is
that Inosuke and Kanao also fight Doma. Guessing after Shinobu.
Yeah, I was looking at this list and I was like,
Especially because if you remember, Kanao's the one that studied under Shinobu.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's Shinobu's like whatever it's called, her apprentice. Yeah, so yeah.
That's tough.
But hey, shout out my boy Inosuke getting an Upper 2 fight.
True.
Good for him, I guess.
He deserves it. And then the last one, we have Mitsuri and Obanai versus Nakime. So that's the Love and Serpent Hashiras versus Upper 4. This one also makes me nervous because it's one of those where it's like he's in love with her and also just a dark, troubled-haired boy. And she does have her mark.
I don't see her dying.
But I don't, because she has her mark, right? Like,
Nakime is the one with the guitar thing, too, that controls Infinity Castle.
Oh,
that's who Nakime is.
Okay. So did they move to Upper 4 after Upper 4 got capped?
Yeah, that's my guess. Because I don't think they had a number before. I think they were just, like, an assistant, basically.
Yeah. That'll be interesting, then.
The way I see this going is that Obanai dies, sacrificing himself for Mitsuri, which is like the ultimate, showing of love. Yeah. It's the ultimate, to die for someone you care about, right? And I think this awakens something even deeper within Mitsuri, like deeper than like her mark and like something where it's like she like is unlocked kind of thing. Because I think with love, it's such a weird breathing style because it's like, well, what does that encompass, right? And
true,
love itself often balances two sides.
Oh my gosh, would it be like a heartbreak breathing style?
Right. It like balances two sides of like hatred comes out of love. Like extreme love for something can, you learn about like a lot of this in Naruto and stuff with the Uchiha clan. And so I think that watching this and like the heartbreak she has, I think could like level her up. I could see something really cool out of it, and then you get a cool like I think Nakime is like a woman. I don't want to like misgender them. They're female passing. So they get like a really sick like woman versus woman fight where they're both like OP and like you're just like this is peak and doesn't feel forced, and because I know people complain about that, and I know like Marvel tries to do that a lot where they're like, look, all of our female superheroes are fighting someone,
which is like, annoying because it's like, Marvel, you didn't have to do that.
It's like, that's cool, like, man, like we didn't need to see that. And nothing against powerful women, right? Like think of like Black Widow and like Iron Man 2, where it was like, bro, she was clearing out hallways of dudes.
That's what I'm thinking is like you just need to show them in action, right? Because it shouldn't be forced. But
I'm thinking of like Infinity War, where they're on like the battlefield, and like Scarlet Witch, Okoye, like all of them, all of a sudden are fighting this one villain. Who's the one villain? Oh, it's a woman, and it's like, we're in the middle of this war, and you guys all are like tag teaming this one chick in the middle of a battlefield.
Because you don't get that with men. And so it's like, I do appreciate the spotlight, but it's like women are powerful in their own right. So when you show them in their own fights, like...
Well, I think you do get it with men. And I think think of like the Captain America, Bucky versus Iron Man fight, right? Like, it just doesn't feel forced because like the representation of men is like 90% to females, especially in superhero stuff. So it's like...
Well, what I'm saying was, like, you don't get it with men is, like, after that scene, I'm pretty sure they all, like, stood up and, like, posed and, like, walked toward the camera.
It felt very
So that's where I'm like, you don't really get that with men. It's just like, hey, women did this. And it's like, I know that. And I love that for them.
Oh my God. And the even worse one is Endgame, where Peter's like, I can't carry this anymore.
I think the Endgame one is actually what I'm thinking of.
The Endgame one is so much worse. Where Captain Marvel's like, I've got it. And he's like, good luck. And they're like, she's not alone. And it's every woman that's ever been in a Marvel movie right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one was so forced. And
it's forced. So our thing is like, we love women supporting women and powerful women.
100%.
But when it's forced, it just doesn't help the message.
It's more of a mockery than like anything.
Yeah.
Like it feels like you're making fun of the concept than anything else. Right. And so I think Mitsuri versus if it comes down to Obanai dying and it's Mitsuri versus Nakime, I think that could be such a great fight where you're just like, dang. Women are kind of badass at times.
I mean, I know that.
And they're amazing. And like you could easily watch this and you're just like, dang, like... Men suck.
Men do suck, and Sasuke Uchiha is a perfect example of that.
Wait, too soon.
Eren Yeager. No. I'm sorry for any Attack on Titan fans out there. Actually, you know what? I'm not sorry.
Oh my gosh. Let's give it a few episodes before we go into that.
Controversy breaks out in the anime
we're going to
world.
have to do a quick break, and we'll be back for our weekly anime discussion. Heaven forbid I support people trying to do good in this world.
Okay.
We're back.
Yeah.
Some weekly anime. That's 2B Hero X. We'll give it a sec before Megan jumps down my throat. We'll open up with One Piece. Obviously, we didn't drop an episode last week, but all you guys really missed was talking about Kuma's backstory, the start of it. And then God Valley was this week, just came out Sunday. That's also something I learned, is One Piece drops on Sundays, which is really...
Do you not know that?
I thought everything dropped on Saturday. So really just threw me
okay.
off.
Well, Apothecary Diaries drops on Fridays.
This is a terrible time. Maybe not everything, then. I don't know. I'm bad at my job. So we started Kuma's backstory, and if you watched it, or if you even just saw the videos on social media, I made you watch the scene where Kuma's dad is killed right in front of him, and it is like one of the darkest anime scenes I have ever seen, because if you're not a One Piece fan, go ahead and just turn the podcast off. I'm just kidding. What it is, so Kuma and his dad are enslaved by the world nobles, which are like these rich, terrible people. And Kuma's mom just died recently, so he's like super sad because he's like 7 or 8. Yeah. And his dad's trying to cheer him up by doing a little dance and telling him about Nika, the sun god, who's going to liberate all the slaves and all this amazing stuff. And so he's doing this dance, and Kuma's starting to laugh, and he's cheering up. And then you see this world noble step out with a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the cliche anime thing we talked about earlier today of, oh, it's so happy, this music is so nice, I'm glad everything's going well. And then you hear a gunshot, the music cuts, and blood sprays.
Yeah.
What was crazy about this is the way they animated it. Because we're looking at Kuma. I don't know if it's from his dad's point of view, but we're looking at Kuma. We can see his dad's shadow dancing. You hear the gunshot, and then everything goes slow-mo as like blood like sprays kind of into the air. So it goes slow-mo, and then it like goes back to real time, and the blood like splatters on Kuma's face, and it looks like super realistic. Like it's kind of gory almost. Like it is disturbing. And so very like sad scene where you're just like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh. And then God Valley was this week, which is where Kuma and his friends escape slavery with the help of some devil fruits. But God Valley is also huge because that's where we see Gold Roger, oh my gosh, Garp, Luffy's grandpa. And then the Rocks Pirates all have like this huge fight at God Valley. It like leads to like the destruction of the island, I'm pretty sure, because they're all stupid powerful.
Nice.
And I believe it leads to the disbanding of the Rocks Pirates, who were like the top pirate crew at the time, because Roger defeats their captain. And so it's kind of, and it's like this in the manga, so if you watch the episode and you feel like there should have been more to the God Valley incident, you're not wrong. The manga, and it sucks because like there's always tease about God Valley, this huge thing. What happened? We don't know. People died. Big event. And then you get to this point in the manga with the backstory, and you get to see God Valley, and you're like, oh my gosh, we're gonna see this huge thing. And then like it cuts like right before the big fight starts because the focus is Kuma, not the fight. And so it goes to Kuma, and then it cuts, and then Kuma's gone and safe, and you're just like, oh, like I wanted to see. Like
all of it.
Peak Roger fighting, and so if you feel like you missed out with God Valley, that's exactly what it's like in the manga. Is you're just like, man, I wish I could have seen more. But great episodes. We'll get Kuma's backstory, I think 1, maybe 2 more weeks. It's so much to it, and it's honestly, believe it or not, going to get sadder. So it gets so much worse. But everything that comes after Kuma's backstory is huge. It's just building up for what's next because the end of Egghead is honestly such a good ending to an arc. So, yeah, it's One Piece is continuing on a great roll, which is crazy because talking about CrunchyRoll awards, One Piece and Bleach didn't win a single award.
That's wild.
I think One Piece might have got like a voice acting thing, but like that's it. Like they did not get any like anime focused awards. So.
The
really
main
strange.
Categories.
Yeah, really strange. I think like German voiceover artist was like One Piece or something. So yeah, kind of weird, but I mean, with One Piece probably wrapping up here, not too like far, I could see when it finally wraps up, like it could clear like the awards list possibly. So
cool. Lots to look forward to then. I watched the Apothecary Diaries. Let's hope I'm recounting all the information correctly because we're adding layer by layer. So Mao Mao is still kidnapped, still in the remote village where she's been taken, and we learn that this village, they're doing like this lantern festival, and so they will decorate these like fox masks and paint them, and then I think it's the previous year's mask they have a wish on. And that's on like this construct in the lake, and then they set fire to it, and if your wish like burns up all the way, it will come true. But what we learned through like the painting of the mask is like she notices that some people have green and some people have red, and so she realizes that there's like color blindness, and that's kind of key, I think. Because previously we learned that I believe it's the original Empress passed down color blindness through like the Emperor. Oh yeah, and
wasn't there like a test or something?
Yeah, there was like a test that she helped them go through, the current emperor and Jinshi go through, there was like a bunch of these doors and stuff, and it was like a test to see if you're like ready to become emperor.
Yeah.
And it all had to do with colorblindness. So the thought is that this empress came from this remote village. So that's kind of crazy.
That is kind of wild. Wow.
Right? And so, like, I feel like things are gradually coming together. I'm, full disclosure, probably not recounting everything correctly and understanding it right.
The Empress is from the village, or like that they're like descendants of the Empress?
Probably both, maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
I could see it too, just from what I've like known about it, where it's like there's a lot of concubines and like descendants and unknown descendants.
Exactly.
Playing a role. So if they've stumbled upon this village and it's like, oh shoot, a lot of people in this village have a claim on the throne, I could see that being a huge story.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for. And I'm just like, I do need to go through an explainer so that I make sure that I'm like up to date on all the information that's been revealed. Because there's still one part that I'm fuzzy with, and it's the previous concubine that passed away during the last emperor's reign, and I think she's related to the character named Shisui and her sister. Mao is obsessed with the sister because the sister brewed like a come back to life potion, and Mao's like, listen, I need to know how to make this. Anyway, the episode did end on a cliffhanger. Mao actually found a workshop where they were making fifas, and previously these fifas had been used to try to assassinate Jinshi. So, and the palace is trying to figure out where they came from, and she just found the workshop, but then she was just discovered in the workshop with one of the boys, like a little boy from the village, who helped her get there. So, lots of things are happening. Dang. Yeah. So, in conclusion, it should have won awards.
Did they win any?
They got English voice actress.
Oh, that's cool. Cool. And then our final anime to talk about this week is To Be Hero X, which if you have not been watching...
It's great. It is great.
Need to start, because this is episode 3, and we've been saying it's peak for a second. So yeah, we finished Isol's story. So that's 2 complete. We've got Nice's story, Linling Nice, and
I love
Isol's. And we are starting Lucky Cyan's story this
week.
Let's
talk about Isol for a second, because if you remember, Moon was assassinated, and you pointed out that Isol, the current Isol, because he's skinny,
it looks like
he's the one that killed her. So that's interesting.
There's a lot to talk with Isol. But, yeah, so starting with episode 8 and moving onward until Hero X debuts, it'll mostly be 2D animation. So the animation change is going to be maybe jarring for some. It looked really good. This episode looked really good. But yeah, so Isol's story finished up with him fighting the original Isol for like basically whoever wins is the Isol.
Yeah. The Isol.
The Isol.
Sorry.
I know that you said you were like, well, which Isol did it? But if you remember the end of the Isol fight, only one of them was left standing.
Right.
So it had to be.
Right.
And I'm guessing it's Isol that killed
Moon.
It looked just like him.
Right. And I'm like, why? I need to know.
We also learned that Isol's uncle...
That's right.
...is the head of, like, a hero agency and is, like, a bad dude that's, like, pulling strings to make sure his heroes are on top. So I would not be surprised if he sent Isol to kill Moon to mess with Nice before the tournament.
Yeah, I think, like... I'm curious for more of Isol's story in that portion of things, because I'm like, what would have like flipped the switch to make him do that? But you already like kind of see like, is it like a little bit of darkness in him when he hesitates?
True, he hesitates to save his friend. That's right.
So
also the Isol fight was gorgeous.
Great.
Holy cow, that was well done. I've got 2 theories for why Isol, if it is Isol, killed Moon. That. To mess with Nice before the tournament.
Yeah.
Get in his head. Right. Kind of basic. I also wonder if it was to cover Nice's tracks. Because if you remember, the whole thing was Moon was supposed to be dead and go live her life. And then God's Eye is like, Moon's alive, and I've got her. But he didn't really have her. He was lying. He didn't know where Moon was. He was lying, and then Nice was like, where is she? And God's Eye was like, you just admitted that she's alive. So then now it's going to cause distrust between the public and Nice. So I wonder if it's the uncle killing her to be like, no, Moon's actually dead. She's gone. She's been dead. There's no Moon, to restore faith in Nice, to give him strength for the tournament.
Was Nice a part of that group?
I don't think he's a part of that agency.
But if the old Nice was, or something like that.
No, the old Nice, he took the nicest position in that agency.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Lindley's a part of the
Yeah.
But if it's something where the uncle's like, I scratched your back, you owe me a favor now.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So that's if there's a deeper conspiracy, I could see that, or if it's just, no, I did it to mess with him so I could win the tournament. So
I'm sad because I really do like Lindling.
So Isol's story was fantastic, though. I liked Isol's more than Nice, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fair. Honestly, that is fair.
It was confusing at first, the change, but once you got used to it, I was like, Isol's is cooler.
Yeah. I think...
The uncle reveal was cool.
The uncle reveal was crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah.
The Lindling versus God's Eye fight was really good.
Lindling versus God's Eye was a really good fight. But if we're looking at the big fight that ended each segment, Isol versus Isol clears.
That's fair. I do think I really liked Lindling's because it was him coming into his own identity.
Yeah, you liked his character.
And that's such a big thing in that world.
I think in terms of characters, I liked Lindling more. Not that... I keep forgetting Isol's character. But not that he was a bad person. I liked his story. It was kind of sad. It got really sad. But I just... Lindling, something about him. Yeah. And it's also hard because it's like, is it just biased? Because it's like, he was our first,
right.
We got 4 episodes with him and we're like, oh my gosh, we love him. Oh no, she's dead. And then it's just, we're moving on.
Yeah.
So then I could see being like, I hate Isol because I want to see Nice.
Yeah.
So.
No, I don't think that's what it is for me. I just I like Lindling.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's chill.
We'll see how long that lasts, though, because we are starting Lucky Cyan.
Yes.
So we got 1 episode in.
It's really good. It's really good. Listen, okay, so recapping this episode. So...
is this where you're making fun of me?
Yes, this is where I'm making fun of you. So there's the plane crash to start, and this journalist infiltrates, the plane crash
was suspicious.
Right.
No heroes jumped in to save it.
Yep.
It just happened, and no one tried to save it, and no one knows what caused it. So a journalist is like, well, what happened? So he's investigating the crash.
And saves this little girl and hides her at this orphanage and gives her the name Cyan because of her hair. Yeah.
Because they're worried that whatever caused the crash might be after her.
Right. And so on the scene arrives the orphanage's owner and director admin. Guy. Jeremiah goes, he's hot. And I'm like, I get that. Is it the baggy sweatshirt? Is it, or sweater, whatever. And I was like, I don't trust him. And Jeremiah was like, no, he runs an orphanage.
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy. And so we're like, okay, cool. Throughout the episode, you see her powers come to light, and she's lucky. Obviously,
she can give luck to others.
So you see a few people, actually a lot of people, taking advantage of her.
Everyone,
and using it to their own gain, whether that's getting a good house or a good husband, a few different things like that. And then a turning point is when the outsider comes to the orphanage to get luck and is granted the luck from Cyan. And after this, she becomes a pariah, a religious pariah, basically, a saintess, and gets, this garb, and I'm like, oh, that's sus. And Jeremiah's like, no, okay. It's really, the only choice that they had, if there's someone who's, really, lucky and
Can I
blessed.
Defend myself yet? Can I defend myself
then they have to turn her into a saintess, and, he's covering her face, so, he's still being respectful.
Can I defend myself yet?
Okay.
The dude's bad. I'll say that. So my thought was, because the person that installed her as a religious figure and started this whole thing was the director. And my thought was, one, it brings in money for the orphanage, and orphanages are always struggling if you watch any media. And it's also like she gets to help people, which is cool. But like,
it's not her choice.
Once an outsider, I mean, even once like the nuns started using her power and were telling each other, like, it was game over. Because once word gets out that there's this little girl who can literally give you like anything you want, we all know how it's going to end, right? She's going to get kidnapped. She's going to get thrown into slavery. She's going to be sold. Like, it could get very dark for her very quickly. But if you go, okay, we know you guys are going to want to get access to her. What we'll do is we'll have her here, come to church, pay us, and you can have access to her. So, essentially he is doing the trafficking and stuff that would be happening to her. But she's in the safety of the orphanage. She's still, like, her life doesn't change besides she has to like sing and wear a mask at noon every day or whatever. He does cover her face, so like her identity's not out there for someone to steal her anyways. So it's like, was it necessary? No, they could have just put her in a hiding or something. But it's like, once everyone knows about this, they're gonna want to take advantage of it. And so I was like, it's a way to keep her safe. And she can help others, and it's cool and all. And then he freaking turns out to be the villain of the episode, so...
Yeah, Jeremiah did not love that. That was hilarious, though.
Do you think that he had powers before all this, or do you think he gained trust during this? Because it's like the 3-year time skip of her as a religious figure.
Yeah.
Let's
go back. So, we skipped part of the episode.
I didn't know we were doing the whole episode.
Yeah, we're doing the whole episode. It's important for the story. But she meets this boy at the orphanage, and he's really just unlucky. But they become friends. And then at the end of the episode, she's singing in the cathedral, really beautiful voice. But then her friend comes out on roller skates and like an electric guitar, and she goes into her pop star identity. And then they're trying to escape from the orphanage because she wants her freedom and like doesn't want to be used for luck anymore. And that was my whole thing the whole time. Is like, it was never like her choice. She was never like, I want to use this to help people kind of a thing. So that was a red flag to me.
Yeah.
And so as they're trying to escape, then the director rolls up with his bad energy. Yeah. And I was like, oh, yeah, what do we have here?
I was very sad.
And Jeremiah was like, are you kidding me?
Like, can no one be good in this show?
He's like, I can fix him. And I was like, I don't think you can. It's not Itachi.
That one episode alone, like, might be one of the best.
It was good.
Like, that was just such a good episode. And, like, not a lot really happened until the end. But you're just like, this little girl's adorable, and I hope nothing bad happens to her. Like, it was really cute. If you guys watched the Isol arc, she's the singer that he has tickets to go see. He wants to take the girl, and then in the final episode, 3 seats or whatever. Yep. That's who she goes to see alone. Is Lucky Cyan, and so she becomes like a Hannah Montana dual life hero singer type of thing.
Yeah.
Which
it was really good though.
Makes sense in a world where trust and popularity give you strength, because it's like, could you imagine if like we had that world? Like Taylor Swift would have immense power, right? And the more you perform and stuff, and the more fans you get, the stronger you get.
Although I don't think that's why she's doing it.
No, I don't think it's why. But it's like, that is like a great source of power for her. So yeah, I easily could see this. I like the animation too. The animation was gorgeous. The 2D was cool. I could see this one being my top at the end of the arc. Yeah. I think it's going to get depressing really quick.
Yeah, I'm waiting for like her friend to die.
I was like, when he came on stage with the guitar, I was like, oh my gosh, is he the guitarist in her band in modern day? And then they're getting away, and I was like, oh, I forgot. It's anime. Nothing good can ever happen. So yeah, it was, yeah. I'm interested to see, though, as a hero, what does that look like for her powers? Because, I was going to say, luck's not a superpower.
But it kind of is.
Like Deadpool and Deadpool 2. But, I mean, Domino from the comics, from Marvel Comics, literally her power is luck. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it'll make for some really cool, like, stuff. I don't want to see her in the hero tournament because I don't want to root against her, and I don't want to root against the other people. And I think the way that they're doing this is so good. I mean, we're getting 24 episodes of just different hero stories. And then by next season, they're going to be like, cool, man, pick your favorite because they're all going to fight. And you're just like, what? So, yeah, it's going to be hard.
Yeah. So go watch To Be Hero X.
To Be Hero X. Be a part of it because it is going to be huge.
Yes.
Goodness.
All right.
We're going to do a quick break. And then for our segment today, instead of a review, we're going to take a look at the CrunchyRoll Awards for the year.
Yes.
So sit tight and get ready to be mad with us about the different anime that won. All right. Welcome back to Anime Core. Now we'll be talking about the CrunchyRoll Awards. Yeah.
These are fan awards, right?
Yeah, so fans vote on this. So if you're mad about any of these, you're the problem.
If you voted the way that you did.
Yeah, if you voted, I guess you're allowed to be mad. I know, I told you to... Oh, you tried to vote, didn't you? You, looked into it?
Did I? I don't remember.
I told you about that, because they opened up earlier this year, and I was like, hey, Anime Awards, you should vote. Apothecary Diaries is on here, but...
Oh, I probably forgot. So I will be upset, but I'm also part of the problem.
So yeah, so if you guys are mad about any of these, let us know in the comments. Not much we can do about it, but maybe we'll be upset for you. So for Anime of the Year, this one's pretty obvious, and I feel like you can't really dispute this.
Yeah.
It's Solo Leveling.
I do feel for the Frieren fans,
yeah,
which I also need to watch. So I do feel for the Frieren fans.
Yeah, so the other nominees, Dawn to Dawn, Delicious in Dungeon, Frieren Beyond Journey's End, Kaiju Number 8, and Apothecary Diaries. So yeah, you're saying Frieren fans. The issue is, I don't feel... I could be wrong. I don't feel like people on the streets are talking about Frieren. I feel like Frieren's, not... I've seen people being like, this is a great anime, and then full stop, that's it, right? I haven't seen people, wanting, talking about it, or getting excited for next week. I saw stuff on social media where it was people that I did not know have ever watched anime are, excited about Solo Leveling's next week episode.
Yeah.
When Jeju was starting and, dudes were getting their, heads snatched and then it just cut to the credits, people were like, oh my gosh, we have to wait a full week for... people were like, I have not seen investment in a show this in a minute. So that's why I'm Solo Leveling, I feel earns it because it's the first time I've really seen the entire anime community excited for week by week episodes.
That is fair.
Frieren, I'm sure, is a fantastic anime, but I feel Anime of the Year, you have to take into account the impact it might have. And I could be wrong, and you could tell me that global impact is for that, and Anime of the Year is for the best anime. Right. And I could understand that argument 100%. So I think on this list, it would have come down to Solo Leveling or Dawn to Dawn. Because I saw a lot of people talk about Dawn to Dawn as well. Yeah. So, are you sad that Apothecary Diaries didn't get it?
No, I'm honestly fine. I'm not I should have. If anything, drama, it could have won. I think Frieren took that category, but we'll get to it later. But the anime film of the year, the winner was Look Back. But the other nominees were Haikyuu, The Dumpster Battle, Mononoke the Movie, The Phantom in the Rain, My Hero Academia, You're Next, Spy Family Code White. I did watch that movie. It's very cute.
I said you watch it. Was that the one where they were on the train and stuff? Where they have to get the chocolate or the baking?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then Lloyd's like, I can fly this, and it's I think it's a blimp going down in midair, and yours okay.
I love it.
And then the last one was The Colors Within.
I don't know anything about Look Back. I know My Hero You're Next was a big one. So I'm kind of surprised it lost. Yeah. But, Look Back might have just been... Based off, the cover for it, it looks beautiful. Yeah. I feel the more, I feel you don't often see show anime movies winning this. I feel you're more so seeing this was an anime movie made to be an anime movie, winning this award from what I've seen before. Because I think last year it was the Suzune one where the doors open to other world and stuff like that. Because it's this studio's like, this is what we're doing. We're making a movie to tell this one story, and we're putting everything into that. With like My Hero, it's like we don't have to do any character development because they've been developed in the show. We just have to say, remember your favorite characters? This is the mess they're in. Oh, they got out of it, kind of thing. But with like movies like Look Back, you're like, we're telling a full story, and we have to tell a full story.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it makes sense that like Spy Family stuff that not probably gonna win often. Spy Family might be one where I could see them winning one because Spy Family just feels like it's made for like
fun.
Cozy storytelling.
It is cozy storytelling.
Global Impact Award, and I don't know if this is a new one or not.
I think it is. I think it's a new category. It is a new one.
Attack on Titan won. It was the only nominee, so it had no competition. Oh man, do we just move on and not anger
I don't know.
Okay, to preface, we have like 5 episodes left of Attack on Titan to watch, including the final chapters, including like the 2 like hour-long episodes. But this is Global Impact.
It is Global Impact. I know. I'm trying to like find an article to like follow up, but cool, I guess. Yeah. I don't know what to say without being mean.
I just don't think that Attack on Titan has this global impact. Like, you gotta think, like, if we're starting a category and saying, you know, what anime has the best global impact, is that, like, of all time? Is that, like, just in this past year?
Because you mentioned Dragon Ball.
Right, like I said, like, Dragon Ball is, like, a huge thing that has a huge, like... Mm-hmm. Like, I know, like, in Mexico, right? Like, shout out, like, my Chicanos. Like, Mexicans love Dragon Ball. It is a big part of our culture. I'd say, like, being Mexican means you also have to be a Dragon Ball fan almost. I know so many, like, of my cousins and stuff that are huge Dragon Ball fans. And it's probably just because we're Mexican. But, like...
Okay, so do you want some stats on Attack on Titan?
Like, viewers and stuff?
So 140 manga copies have been sold worldwide. 3 of its seasons hold a 100% score on Rotten Tomatoes, and the series boasts an overall 95% in audience ratings.
Dang. I want to say best anime rating on IMDb. I want to say, yeah, Attack on Titan's the number 1 on IMDb as well.
We didn't love Attack on Titan. I'm just gonna say it. It is not our favorite anime. Yeah.
It's just hard for me because it's like, how much is it American viewership and like stuff? Like, I'm just curious because I'm fine to give this anime of the year. I am totally fine to say
Global Impact.
No, I'm fine to give it anime of the year. I'm fine to say Attack on Titan had high viewership, high ratings, it finished strong, like, in numbers. I am fine to say that anime of the year. My just wonder is when you tell me global impact, you're saying, all right, this is the anime this past year that the whole world has been anticipating, on the edge of their seats, loving, all this stuff. And I'm just like, if someone were to say, oh, actually, across the world, these are the numbers that Attack on Titan performed really well. I'd say, okay, it had a bigger impact than I thought it did. I'm wrong. Like, but I just haven't seen anything where it's like Attack on Titan did like blow up around the world.
So the Global Impact Award celebrates visionary creators and groundbreaking works that have left an indelible mark on culture, history, and the hearts of audiences around the world. So it concluded in 2024 with Attack on Titan: The Last Attack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, stuff I'm seeing says, like, it's big in other countries as well.
I know it's a big anime because I know you've mentioned before it kind of was sandwiched in between the old Big Three and the new Big Three. Mm-hmm. So it definitely got its time in the sun. I think my personal bias is leaking in. So this
is just like a Reddit thread. This is 6 years ago, though, is the hard part. was very outdated. Someone said like in Brazil, Naruto and Dragon Ball are huge. My Hero is also pretty big.
There's kind of like a myriad of different animes.
In like Latin American countries like Argentina, Boku no Hero is pretty big. Spain, there was a decent boom, but like not huge. Germany, One Punch Man and My Hero were more popular.
So I guess too, was this category an audience voting one, or was it like?
That's a good point too. People, you can't vote on it. It's the one nomination.
Oh yeah. My bad.
So yeah, I don't know. It's hard, and Global Impact's just weird. I just feel like Global Impact is like what's changed the world almost.
Yeah.
Like what's like had an effect on the world. So I don't know.
And we could be wrong, because we're not like huge into.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if you guys know like how big it is overseas, especially if like you guys are overseas, and
we'd love to know, like truly.
Yeah, I would love to know and like be proved wrong on this, because I truly don't know. But when it reminds me of like I don't know, when you add an award like Global Impact, it's gotta have a meaning to it, right? And you can't just be like, this is huge in America because everyone watches it. But it's like, I feel like, do people talk about Attack on Titan a lot? Do you see collaborations a lot?
Yeah.
Has it changed?
Well, I did see that you could get the Scout's cloak at PetSmart for your dog.
Never mind, my bad. Attack on Titan, Global Impact. Best continuing anime. Heck yeah, baby. Winner, Demon Slayer.
Yeah. Looking at the list,
which is
though,
huge.
I'm like, wait.
Yeah, so the nominees were Bleach, 1,000 Year Blood War, Demon Slayer, My Hero Season 7, One Piece, just in general, Oshi no Ko Season 2, and Spy Family Season 2. This is specifically Demon Slayer training arc, too.
Yeah. So I think the shocking one to me a little bit is Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War.
Yeah.
So.
Because, like, Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War is, like...
Peak.
Bleach in general is peak right now. Everyone's like, this is the best Bleach has ever been.
Yeah.
So it is really strange to be like, whoa.
1,000 Year Blood War didn't win.
But if 1,000 Year Blood War does continue to next year, and One Piece doesn't wrap up between now and the next awards, I could see maybe Bleach.
Yeah.
Ooh, JJK Season 3 could sneak in there, though.
Well, we'll see how Culling Games is,
depending
though. Because Shibuya is so good.
Yeah, depending on when Season 3 drops. Dawn to Dawn's getting Season 2, so it could be up for continuing.
Mm-hmm. Spy Family Season 3 does come out, I think, in October.
Yeah, no one's going to vote for Spy Family.
What?
Though. I know.
That's mean.
And before people get mad about Demon Slayer's training arc winning, because I know people were like, this was such a boring arc. You have to remember the arc ended with Muzan showing up and fighting the Hashira.
Yeah.
And like we got some good backstories, a lot of anticipation, but everything built to this one moment.
That's a good point. We got did we get Love's backstory in that one? No.
Nah, hers was
But we got
before.
Wind. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think
definitely
we
got
did.
Stone. We definitely got Stone.
We definitely so like there's some great backstories, some good like conflict. And as far as training arcs go, like it's a good training arc.
But it's like nothing was beating that final episode of Demon
right.
Slayer. Like,
which was just beautiful. First of all, with the animation.
Yeah, like it set up everything.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Okay. Best new anime series, Solo Leveling. Are we shocked? No. I feel like no. Are you? Okay, other nominees, Dawn to Dawn. I guess fair. Delicious in Dungeon, Frieren Beyond Journey's End, another one that could be in contention. Kaiju number 8, and then Apothecary Diaries. Although I guess it would be season 1 of the Apothecary Diaries. I forget that. Because I was like, it's been out. But I guess it would have been out last year.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it goes back to, it's hard when it's like voted on by like fans.
Yeah.
Because it's a popularity contest for sure. And I think Solo Leveling wins 8 awards.
Yeah.
So it's like any category Solo Leveling's in, people are going to be like, oh, I watched that.
Right.
I'll vote for it.
I think that's fair. I think, yeah.
So it's like when you have like I feel like it's almost like for every one anime fan that probably watched all 6 of these, you probably have like 50 fans who only watched like 2 of these, right?
Yeah.
So I think that is the hard part with stuff like this. Best new anime series. Yeah. This is the Solo Leveling that did beat One Piece. You gotta remember that.
Yeah.
This is when they beat One Piece. This is when they're getting crazy ratings.
Yeah, but would this would be Solo Leveling season 1, would it not?
I think it's just in general.
Is it?
I don't know the rules, man.
We should be better at this.
It's one of those things where it's like, what's the criteria? I think it's anything between like last year's voting and this year's voting. And I want to say season 1 of Solo Leveling and season 2 came out like within a year.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I don't think...
Makes up for not having it for another like 10 years. That's exaggerating. I don't remember 2028.
Yeah. The first season came out in 2024.
Okay.
Came out beginning of 24, so I think before the last CrunchyRoll Awards maybe, but I think it'd still be considered a new anime.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we legit got 2 seasons within a year, which is very spoiled. No, I think it's fine. I go back and forth on Solo Leveling.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this is a great anime, but like, it's just missing so much when it comes to just being like a peak top tier anime.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's where I'm trying to stick up to the Frieren fans here, because I know Frieren was huge and there's great storytelling and great characters. And so I think Frieren should have gotten more love in the awards, but again, it's viewer voted. So it's not like the Oscars or anything.
Yeah, because this next one really pisses me off. So, best original anime, of course, we have Ninja Kamui.
Oh my gosh, we hated it.
The nominees were Bukigiri?
I think it's Bukigiri.
Yeah, I think it's Bukigiri. Girls Band Cry. Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night. Metallic Rouge. And Train to the End of the World. So I'm not surprised that Ninja Kamui won, because I'm pretty sure it's probably the only one people watch. I have not heard about any of these, and no one talks about them.
I mean, that's not like saying a lot, to be honest. We need to be better at this.
I've heard of Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night, but people weren't really like super into it. I mean, God.
Ninja Kamui was
so clean.
It's so good. It was a letdown. Like, the first few episodes were peak. We loved them. The fights were great. And then they were like, what if they're ninjas and also robots? And we were like, no, listen. The fights were better without that.
Oh my gosh. Ninja Kamui embarrassed me. I had to stop recommending stuff to loved ones for a month after this. Because Ninja Kamui... So if you ever watch like How I Met Your Mother with like Marshall's stamp of approval and he just gives it to everything to the point where it doesn't mean anything, that's what this was. Because I watched the first like 2 episodes of Ninja Kamui and I told everyone and their dog to go watch it. I was like, Ninja Kamui is going to be huge and you need to get on this now, because this is a gorgeous anime with just amazing fights.
Depressing backstory.
And I wasn't wrong. The first 2 episodes were so clean.
They were really great.
The first episode was so gorgeous, right? So I'm like, okay, y'all need to hop on this. And then I remember watching, I think it was like episode like 5 or 6 when like the mechs came out or something. Mm-hmm. And it was the point where we were just like, oh, what is happening? And I remember texting everyone I recommended this to, and I was like, please don't watch Ninja Kamui. Please ignore what I said. But it was too late, and they already watched it, and they were like, dude, this is a terrible recommendation.
So who did you send it to? Who did you recommend it to?
I told my cousin, my dad, my sister... some friends from high school, some old roommates.
Oh my gosh, you literally told everyone.
I told everyone. I was like, I am going to be the biggest supporter for this.
So, have you done the same with To Be Hero X? Like, are you telling people about it now?
I've told 3 people.
Are you being cautious?
I've told 2 people. I'm biting my tongue.
Being a little cautious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ninja Kamui was...
It was a letdown. If you liked it, I'm happy for you.
If you liked it, I'm really happy for you, because if you could find a way, I mean, if it's your style, then if you like the mechs and stuff, this was a perfect anime for you. But if you even still found a way to like enjoy it through all that, like, I am so happy for you, because kudos. But I could just, Especially like in the big final fight with his old friend, and I was like, okay, their suits are broken. We're gonna get to see their their special jutsu
ninja
and stuff, and then like new robot suits came out or something, and I was like, what is happening? Yeah. And then the final fight with the one robot, it was like a 2-minute fight, all robots. I think you were folding laundry because it was such a boring fight. Like it was just.
But we stuck through it and we did it together. And
we did finish it. So before you're like, oh, you didn't get to the part where it was good. I got to the end.
Okay.
And it never got good.
Listen, these mics pick up a lot. You need to tone it down. Okay, we're going to move on to a category you're actually happy for, and that is Best Animation, which Demon Slayer, the Hashira training arc did take, because lest you forget, that whole last episode with the explosion
the last episode was what got it.
Insane. But the other nominees were Don Don, which I could see an argument for.
Yeah.
Delicious in Dungeon, Frieren, Kaiju number 8, and Solo Leveling.
Solo Leveling was not winning.
No. Because that last scene was just perfect.
Like I said when we watched the training arc in that last episode, I have never watched an anime and been like, this might be a live action shot of a forest.
Yeah.
Like the shot they had of that forest, I was like, this looks like it's a real forest.
That and then the floor erupting.
The explosion.
Insane.
The Muzan's look. Like everything about it, I was just like,
yeah.
This was just, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it just, that one episode alone carried, I think, all their nominations. Don Don, like you said, though, I could see. Don Don had some really good animation. Which is why I think it did win this next one. Best character design was Don Don.
Yeah.
I kind of got into Don Don. I need to just double down and watch it.
It's the one that you watch when your parents walk in the room.
Gosh, yeah. There's 2 half-naked high schoolers on top of each other, and you're just like... Yep. It's what's known as a laptop anime.
Oh.
So there's laptop anime and then there's living room anime where it's I could probably watch most of Naruto in the living room.
Yeah.
But there's some anime where it's just random moaning or random sexual stuff where you're just I can't explain this. You just have to watch it to understand the context. So it's if someone walks in and watch it, I think
there are a lot of memes about it. I know there are a lot
of
memes about it.
DxD or whatever, I think is one where it's it's a laptop anime. So yeah, Don Don though, I will say the character design is really good. It's very unique, very creative. I hate the aliens, but even they are very creatively done. It did beat Delicious in Dungeon, the Demon Slayer training arc, which it's training arc maybe. It's we've been seeing these characters. Frieren I could see because it's a fantasy, and fantasy's always got great character design. Kaiju number 8 I could have seen winning.
Yeah,
it.
That's true.
And then Apothecary Diaries is on here as well. The costumes and stuff, I could see character design for Apothecary Diaries. I could see it was, especially because Apothecary Diaries is almost like a historical anime.
Yeah.
So if they're you were pretty spot on with these designs based off feudal Japan, I could see that.
Yeah.
But, I am glad that Don Don did get a award. I think they also got opening or something because I think they did get opening. Was really good. Just because Don Don was super hype and people loved it, and then Solo Leveling came along and everyone just forgot about Don Don.
That's true.
I am happy. I mean, also you guys are getting a season 2 in a few months, so I think you'll be fine.
Yeah. This next one, Best Director. That was Frieren's director, who is up against Don Don, Demon Slayer, One Piece.
One Piece fan letter.
Fan letter.
That's fan letter was a offshoot. That was the one I think we were scrolling through Netflix, and I was this is the One Piece fan letter. Okay. That's cool.
And then Apothecary Diaries and Delicious in Dungeon.
Which we need to watch.
Very happy for Frieren.
We need to watch Delicious in Dungeon.
We do, yes. And Kaiju number 8.
We started Kaiju number 8.
We did.
Cool. Shout out Frieren. I'm happy you guys got something on the board.
Yeah. Well, they got the next one on the board too with Best Background Art.
Oh yeah, look at
that. So Best Background Art. Shout out to Frieren. Frieren. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it wrong. I'm so sorry. I'll get better at this. Up against nominees that were Don Don, Delicious in Dungeon, Demon Slayer, Pluto, that's a new one that we haven't heard yet, and Apothecary Diaries.
I will say it makes sense with the fantasy setting.
Mm-hmm.
You probably get some really cool shots of the background. Demon Slayer's never been one to really focus on background art. It's
That's
like,
true.
here's some trees. And what's behind them? More trees.
Oh, I was going to say demons.
So yeah, Demon Slayer has never really... Ooh. I guess this... Backtracking real quick. Do we think Infinity Castle, one of the three, might win Movie of the Year? I know we said that show ones typically don't, but like...
True. I could see.
I could see that.
Yeah. Because it's not also a show at that point.
True, it's finishing up the movie,
Yeah.
so... but yeah, like, the only thing I would think of for Demon Slayer would be, like, Infinity Castle for background stuff, but even then it's like, here's some lines that lead to more lines. Like, it's not, like, super... It looks beautiful and it's super cool, but I can see Frieren with, like, fantasy having some cool...
Yeah.
Anything like set design almost, just kind of what background is. And
right.
So, here you go. Best Romance, Blue Box.
I did start Blue Box.
Did you start it?
I started it.
I
think
watch it.
maybe like one episode in.
It'd be Sign of Affection.
Which I've heard is big.
Makin. Too Many Losing Heroines. Ranma Half. Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, which is a romance, believe it or not. And then Dangers in My Heart Season 2.
Nice.
You said Blue Box was pretty big. That's why you wanted to start it.
Yeah,
right?
Blue Box is pretty big. I know A Sign of Affection got pretty big too as far as romance animes go. So you need to watch that. That is about a deaf girl.
Oh, that's cool.
Or non-hearing.
Sweet. Best comedy was Mashal? Magic and Muscles, The Divine Visionary Candid Exam Art.
That sounds great.
It did beat Delicious in Dungeon, Konosuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World, My Dear, D-E-E-R, Friend No Katan, Ranma Half, and, sadly, Spy Family Season 2. How does anything beat Spy Family for comedy?
Spy Family's hilarious.
Spy Family's so good.
Yeah, you kind of have to be in the mood for that humor, I guess.
Yeah. Spy Family's definitely, like, if you grew up on, like, Looney Tunes almost.
Yeah.
You're into that a little
Because you're
bit.
like, Yor's an assassin. How does she not realize that her husband's a spy? And vice versa, where it's like, Lloyd's like the best spy. And how does he not realize that Yor's an assassin?
Yeah.
And Anya's just like, I can read both of your minds. Okay, best action. Solo Leveling, of course.
Naturally.
But up against Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War, Dawn to Dawn, Demon Slayer, Kaiju number 8, and Windbreaker, which is another one. Add it to the list.
Windbreaker was huge, too.
Yeah.
I'm kind of... It was big for, like, if you know anime. I feel like basic, like, surface-level anime fans might not have known about it as much. Nothing was beating Solo Leveling's action.
No.
Though. Like,
no.
Yeah, in terms of action, Solo Leveling definitely clears. There's no debate on that one, I think.
Yeah. Best Isekai. RE0 Starting Life in Another World Season 3, which beat out Konosuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World, Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation, Shangri-La Frontier, Suicide Squad Isekai, and That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, which I also did start.
That
Fun
is
fact.
crazy that it'd be reincarnated as a slime. I didn't know Suicide Squad had an isekai. That's kind of sick.
That's funny.
Beating Shangri-La Frontier, though, that's crazy, too.
That's cool.
Best Drama Anime. Shout out Frieren. Good job. Beat out Sign of Affection, Dead Demons, Dedede Destruction, Oshinoko Season 2, Pluto, and Apothecary Diaries. Does that one make you a little sad?
A little bit. Yeah. It depends on if you're, like, taking it as a whole or just season 1. Because as a whole, it's, like, everything's coming together. Like, even stuff in season 1. Season 1, like, the end got peak. And I loved the first part, too, where it's, like, you're learning about Mao Mao, how she got there, the entertainment district, being in the Imperial Palace. And then, like, you're getting her little mysteries along the way. Mm-hmm. But it's not a cohesive story until, like, really the second part and now season 2, where a lot of things are coming together. So I think it depends on what you're taking.
Okay, that's fair.
Are you doing the next one, or you want me to?
You can do it.
Okay. Best slice of life anime. Maikane? Too Many Losing Heroines. Up against Laid Back Camp. Mr. Villain's Day Off. My Dear Friend Nokotan. Sound Euphonium. And The Dangers in My Heart Season 2.
They all sound adorable.
They do.
Right, we're going into some character ones. We're just going to kind of speed through these, I think.
Well, this one I personally feel is controversial.
Yeah, we'll speed round it, quick talks.
Yeah.
Best main character, Sung Jin Woo from Solo Leveling. He beat Frieren from Frieren. Kafka Hibino from Kaiju number 8. Okarun and Momo from Down to Down. They both got on the list. And Mao Mao from Apothecary Diaries.
I think it's a hot take to have Jinu as best main character.
Bro, you cannot tell me he is the best main character and then hate the one episode that has character development.
That's so true.
That's my thing with this, is you cannot say this is the greatest main character out of this whole list while also being like, we hate when the main character does main character stuff. Like, you only like him because, like, it's strong.
Yeah. My other beef with it is there are personality moments from the manhwa that are left out in this that could have added to his character. Like, thinking about, like, the relations between, like, him and his, like, shadow folks. And then I think, did they also leave out the scene? I thought there was a scene where he, like, looks in the mirror and he's like, that's another one after he kills someone.
No, that's the start of the season.
Is it? Yeah. Okay, he does. Yeah. Okay.
But after that, like, we really don't get much. And so, like, that's what gets me. Is it's like, you don't care about his character development. You can't list him as a character then. Because he's just there to fight people.
Right.
And, like, he has no personality. He adds nothing to the show except that he's, like, the main character fighting people. Right. So it's like, what do you like, legit, what do you like about Sung Ji Woo? Yeah. Right. Like, it's not his personality. It's just the fact that he's strong.
And hot.
It's like, and it's like, that's just what bothers me.
Yeah.
You cannot hate the character development episode and then say he's the best character I've ever won.
That's so fair.
So that's just what I'm like.
He just doesn't have a lot of telling personality traits.
Do you think that Solo Leveling would be as huge as it is if they included the real Sung Jin Woo from the manhwa? And how
there's not like a huge amount of difference. There's just some like little scenes here and there.
But he's like not as serious. He's more like he's not as manly almost. You know, he shows emotion more.
Yeah.
Like, everything that people hated in that one episode is basically who he is in the manhwa.
Yeah and no. Like, I don't know.
So yeah, that's one where I'm just like, get out.
That's my controversial one.
Best supporting character, we have Fern from Frieren. They beat Himmel from Frieren. Jinshi from Apothecary Diaries. Seiko and Turbo Granny from Don Don. And Senshi from Delicious in Dungeon. You can do this one, because you're a girl.
Must protect at all costs character. Super love that they had a category for this. But, I mean, you can't argue against Anya from Spy Family. Like, come on. You can't be mad about
Anya's winning that every time.
But she was up against Frieren from Frieren. Okarun from Dawn to Dawn. Senshi from Delicious in Dungeon. Tokiyuki Hojo from The Elusive Samurai, and Yuki Itose from Sign of Affection.
Yeah, I think Anya wins anytime that she's got a new season out. She's adorable.
She's so cute.
Best anime song was Otonoke by Creepy Nuts for Dawn to Dawn.
So on brand for Dawn to Dawn.
Dawn to Dawn's song beat Kaiju number 8's Mashle Magic and Muscle, Oshinoko, Solo Leveling. This isn't the one that you like, right? The Solo Leveling? Okay. And then Frieren's. Dawn to Dawn has really good music. That was like, when it first came out, that was like the number one thing people loved about it.
But it did not get best anime score.
No. That one was Solo Leveling, which I will agree that Solo Leveling had a really good soundtrack. It beat Bleach, 1,000 Year Blood War, Dawn to Dawn, Demon Slayer, Frieren, and Look Back.
Mm-hmm. And then best anime opening sequence did go to Don Da Don. So that's beating out Kaiju number 8. Mashle? Mash?
I think I botched it every time.
Yeah. Oshinoko, Solo Leveling, and One Piece. How do you feel about beating out One Piece? It's the opening sequence.
Yeah, One Piece. I'm trying to think of which one Oos is. One Piece has really good opening sequences for sure, but Don Don had a great opening sequence. I want to say I want to say the Don Don opening sequence references like a Rihanna music video too.
Oh dang!
Like everyone was talking about it, so I'm like, I'm not bothered. Like I said, the music in Don Don was like the number one thing people noticed at first. Anime ending sequence was Solo Leveling.
Cleaning up.
It beat Ranma Half, Oshinoko, Elusive Samurai, Kaiju number 8, and Don Da Don. And then we're just going to go through. So the rest of them are just voice performances. Obviously, we speak English, so that's the one. Typically, we watch dub, so that's the one we typically focus on. But we will shout out the different languages just to honor and respect them.
I do want to shout out Japanese voice artist performance with Aoi Yuki as Mao Mao from the Apothecary Diaries taking it. I think that's exciting. I'm loving that Apothecary Diaries got some sort of spotlight.
That is cool, though.
So, happy to see that one.
Best voice artist for Arabic was Heba Snowbar as Anya Forager from Spy
cool.
Family. I want to hear the performance. Best voice actor for Brazilian Portuguese is Charles Emmanuel as Sung Jin-woo, Solo Leveling.
And then best voice artist performance for Castilian Spanish, Masumi Mutsada as Sung Jin-woo from Solo Leveling.
And then this one we'll talk about a little bit. Best VA English, Alex Lay as Sung Jin-woo, Solo Leveling. I am happy for Alex.
He seems like a good person.
That's
That's Zenitsu.
Zenitsu's voice actor, so that's cool. Did beat Okarune's voice actor.
Armin
from Attack on Titan, which is kind of crazy. Frieren's voice actor Alyssa from Alyssa Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in a Rush. Or Alia.
Where'd you
I don't
find
know
the
why
S?
I saw an S. That's so weird. Alia. I don't know. I've heard about Alia Sometimes Hides Her Feelings.
Yeah, I told you about it. I watched it on the plane one time.
And then Senchi's the voice actor from Delicious in Dungeon. I like Sung Jin-woo's
Do you?
voice actor. I think that's fine.
Okay. Do you think it's because of the Arise line?
Yeah, I mean the dude got death threats, so I'm glad that he got
Yes.
award out of
Yeah,
it.
he kind of did deserve that. Not the death threat, the award. I just want to clarify. But looking at some of the people on this list, I am a little surprised. I don't know. I think it goes back. The reason for my surprise is the whole reason for our beef about the main character. Yeah. Like when your main character doesn't have a lot of personality traits,
right.
Like what does the voice acting look like?
Fair. Yeah.
So that's my only thing, but
that's fair. I think I am biased because it is Alex Lay, and
yeah.
And I know that he's a great voice actor. And
yeah.
So I'm like, this is probably the easiest job he's ever had, minus the death
maybe.
threats.
Yeah, for real.
Best VA French was Adrien Antoine as Kafka Hibino from Kaiju number 8.
And for German, the winner was Daniel Schloch as Monkey D. Luffy.
The One Piece award.
Ayo.
For Hindi was Lohit Sharma as Satoru Gojo from JJK Season 2.
I might say this Italian name wrong. The winner for voice performance for Italian was Ilaria Pellicone? I don't know.
No idea.
Who performed as Kiyomoto in Look Back.
Latin Spanish, we have Miguel Angel Leal as Aaron Yeager from Attack on Titan.
And that was our last one, actually.
Yeah, that's the very last one.
So
Overall, I feel solid about these awards.
Do you really?
I think I've had to make peace that Solo Leveling was gonna dominate.
Yeah, that's so
and I'm
fair.
not even like upset that like One Piece didn't do well, like do better. I just Solo Leveling I think is good. I just people really
I do think it's
overhyped it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think it's overhyped, but I do really enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, for sure. So I think it's good. Let us know what you guys think. If there's anything that you are really excited for, or that you feel like got snubbed, we'd love to cry for you, or tell you that you're wrong. But that is the end of this week's episode.
Yep.
So thank you for tuning in and watching.
And we'll catch you on Thursday. So
we
I can
do
tell you
have-
about how much I don't like Sasuke.
We do have a bonus episode this week coming out Thursday, so keep an eye out for that on our Sasuke Hate Talk.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys like the show, make sure to leave a comment, leave a rating, and tell your friends, because that is always helpful to get the word out. And make sure to check us out on social media. But
Yep.
we'll catch you guys next time.